Next question. How are you demonstrating strategic value to your organization so that closing you is not an option? That's sort of a question that looms, I think, in a lot of people's minds. I'll start with Tom.
Thank you. I hate to go back to what I started with, but I think it's really important that you, if you can, work yourself to a situation where you own the brand. Become the police for the brand for your company. Make sure you're the one that owns it, says, here's how it needs to be. This is our brand, and we need to preserve the integrity of that brand. If you do that, you are literally a strategic partner from day one. It's part of the deal. But once again, you got to be careful what you ask for, because if you get the ownership of that brand, along with that comes responsibility for owning that brand. You've got to make sure you're prepared to step up to the plate and work, and if you make a mistake, you've got to admit it and get better from it. I think that's really the most important thing, in my opinion, is to work yourself so closely with the business that you become an integral part of what they do. But when they need you to do something, it should be transparent to them how it gets done. Whether we do it in-house, we do it externally, we do a mix of both, they don't care. We want to be just a partner with them where they just tell us what needs to be done, and it gets done for them in a high quality and very cost-effective manner.
Great. Abbas.
So I go back to, a secret. Traditionally the thing has been about that if you don't want to be outsourced, be the cheapest, be the most convenient. Have customers who love you, are service oriented. Been around a long time. Well, I came from a shop before Penn State. I was at another shop, and I think it exhibits well to that shop did all of those things. That university was Texas A&M. 2 years after I left Texas A&M, Texas A&M shut down. And they just came lock, stock, and barrel and shut it down. And they did all those things because I was there. And so it prompted, a significant soul searching in myself, is that within 2 years of my going, what changed that, Texas A&M shut down? And because it was not that they were not making money. I mean, when they shut A&M down, A&M had a surplus balance of $2 million at the print shop. So, I went and talked to my old colleagues out there because it really bothered me. It made me, somehow I let them down. And what I figured was that the reason that shop got outsourced was one, and those are the lessons I've tried to apply here, is that, you have to provide services that can't be outsourced. Printing is something, if you're just a copy printer, or if you're just an offset printer, those things can be bought, and it's not a matter of cost. At a certain level, education institutions don't care about that because it's a core mission thing. So you have to provide something that cannot be outsourced. You have and a set of services that can't be clearly isolated. So if they can pick this piece up and move it out, and it doesn't impact anything else, then you're a right candidate for outsourcing. But if you're just intertwined and integrated into it, it's actually going to cause a lot of pain to a lot of other people. And it's just more easier to let you be there, then you won't get outsourced. And the third thing is that there has to be you should be able to exhibit a definite monetary value to keeping you in business. And this is not just being cheap. It's a monetary value that if you shut down, apart from the cost of getting stuff done outside, you will lose X dollars. And there's things that we do every day. For example, we have this program that we buy all the print for the university. But unlike the traditional model has been that if you buy a print, you mark it up. We don't mark it up. And a lot of my colleagues have asked me, isn't that kind of you're doing all this work for nothing? I said, no, I'm not. I'm doing it to preserve my identity and my role. That's what I am. And we don't mark it up, and that's a definite value we can show. When we outsource everything, and we outsource probably, I said we do around 5 million, we will outsource around another 5 million. We buy all the paper. For every job that's outsourced, anywhere the institution outsources, we still manage the paper. And every year, for every job, we tell a customer, you just save $10,000, whatever. So this again, that's a monetary value that we clearly exhibit on every day. So you have to exhibit those monetary values that go beyond the cost of the job. And if you do those things, I think it keeps us relevant and keeps us saying, yeah, these people are trying and they're actually doing more than just print and more than just managing the job. They're actually adding to the strategic base of the university.
Thank you. Gary?
I can sit here and just repeat exactly everything that they're saying. I mean, so really, let's whether it is, no matter what it is, okay, we're dealing with, basically number crunchers that are above us, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they do. They don't really care what it is that you do, as long as you bring value to what it is you're providing. So your focus really needs to be is that you need to be of value to your institution, your university, your insurance, whatever it is you are, you need to be a value. So focus on being a value, and that needs to be in quality service, pricing, you need to be below market, etc. So really what we have is a model of being the model service for our campus. We're a healthcare provider, that we're in a teaching institution. So, the best thing I ever got was an email to my boss, the VP, that said printing services should be the model for this entire campus for any internal service that we offer. I mean, that was the biggest accolade I could have ever received from anybody, and this is from the School of Nursing, probably one of the hardest clients we ever had to win back over. So once I won the dean's office, it just trickled down. So now they use us. So be a value to whatever it is you do. Make sure you're service oriented. And then be a solution provider. As I said in the, that's really it's really not a secret. It's just, if you can't do it, find a way to get it done. If you don't do it right, find somebody else that does it. Like, for example, I mean, this sounds really dumb, but, we print mugs. We print coffee mugs. I mean, why would I do coffee mugs? I mean, it was a really cheap investment, a couple $100 for the printer and a heat press, and we're done, and we're doing them now, and we do them as a service, not because I want to do coffee mugs. I hate doing them. But we do them because they need them and everybody wants them. So we were like, hey, we can make money at doing it. So on top of that, you got to win your customer base. That's probably one of the key things is win your customers over to you, win upper management. Make sure that the people in external, your marketing departments, they all want to use you. Because what they're going to do is they're going to go to bat for you when somebody up top says, oh, we need to outsource them, we need their space, or we need this. No, you're not taking them. We use them on a regular basis. They are your allies. So make sure you friend them beyond. In other words, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I give services to them. They say, hey, I need this, and I just give it to them. I don't charge them. I just do it. If we work all night, we do whatever we got to do. They show up next day, it's there. We had a gala, President's Gala. It's one of our biggest fundraisers. And we were going to do these inexpensive expanders. I'm sure everybody's kind of seen them. So I said, oh no, I'm doing retractables. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I just did it. And the VP was just like, sends me this little note. Thank you, Gary. You're the best. Well, I won her, so she's going to go to bat when somebody says, hey, get rid of her. So just really remember that, a lot of this, it's customer service, but it's you building relationships with upper management. You as the manager, the director, or whatever it is you are over your department, you build relationships with those people that are above your pay grade. Very, very important. And then on top of that, be the branding police, because we are too. We're the branding police. And that was a hard thing from our external department to get them to do that. Now they rely on it, and we do it, okay?
Great. Mike?
Yeah, everything I've got here has pretty much already been mentioned on the panel.
Sorry.
We can go on to the next
problem.
question.
No, actually, there was a couple things I wanted to say. So we are the branding police for the state as well. It started with the state seal, and within the last 2 weeks, Colorado has actually released a brand new brand. So the state seal is, for serious business, and the Colorado state flag actually belongs to the people. So the governor's office embarked on an idea that they wanted a brand that they could trademark and be able to really sell Colorado to the rest of the nation and worldwide, for that matter, when it comes to our parks and rec and ski industry, et cetera. And so with the background that we had with the state seal, we work with the Secretary of State's office to enforce use and quality standard of the state seal. This new governor's office of branding came to us and said, we understand you are the ones that we need to work with in order to control our new brand identity. And so again, back to what was said earlier, strategically placing yourself in that conversation, so when something does come up, you're the first name that's mentioned. One of the things we did early on in my career with the state is the governor's wife took on an initiative to update a book on the governor's mansion in Colorado, and the book was called Queen of the Hill. Well, when she wanted to have it reprinted, she came to me and said, well, this printer has the negs, and this was 2004, I think. And so I asked her, I said, well, when's the last time it was printed? It's 1982, the last time they printed this book. So I said, the negs probably don't exist. And so we started looking into the book. There were no materials. So in order to reprint this book, she needed somebody to redesign this entire book. And so I went to my bosses and said, look, I understand, what I need to do here. I don't want to charge her for this design work. I want to give her this design work back on what was said earlier. And I convinced them to go ahead and do this design work pro bono. That was probably the single most important thing we did for our organization, because the governor's wife, at every gala that she went to, every event she went to, she carried these books with her and handed out the book to whomever she was going to. So we got our name circulating early on. And we developed that relationship, and it's keeping that positive consensus amongst your current customers and building new ones and carrying it forward.
Thank you.